Hello everyone, it's Wes Harrison with Above and Beyond Auto Repair, and I am driving home from Colorado. I had a few days of indoor skydiving training for my skydiving hobby, and since I have a 9-hour drive, I'm making some videos on some car repair information, most commonly asked questions. And today's video is, this video is on how to check a front hub assembly, and it's pretty easy to do. As you're driving down the road, if you're getting a noise coming from the front end, if you turn to the right and the noise goes away, then suspect it being the right front hub bearing. If you turn to the left and the noise goes away, suspect it being the left front hub bearing. If you turn to the left and the noise gets louder, suspect it being the right front hub bearing. If you turn to the right and the noise gets louder, suspect it being the left front hub bearing. The reason being is when you put pressure on the front wheels in the turn, the wheel that has the hub bearing that's bad will get louder. When you take the pressure off of it, it'll get quieter. That's the easiest way to determine whether it's the left or the front. Now, Ford ZX2s have a bearing on the passenger side drive shaft or CV shaft that goes bad all the time, and I've seen more hub bearings get replaced because that bearing's actually bad. The way to check that one, if you can, is lift the front end of the car, put it in gear, whether it's drive or second, use jack stands please. And then listen right at the bearing. You'll see it on the drive shaft. It's right there. And if it's loudest right there, it's that bearing making the noise sound like it's coming from a hub bearing. Ford ZX2 is not the only one that has that bearing, but those bearings go bad quite often, more often than Hondas or Nissans. Nissans have them, Hondas have them, but Ford ZX2s, they consistently go bad. And here's the thing. You can buy the whole passenger side axle shaft cheaper with the new bearing on it than you can buy the bearing yourself and have it pressed on and off and all that stuff. So just a tip for you if you have a Ford ZX2. I need to make a video about that. Back to the hub assemblies. Now, your wheel bearings. Once you've determined right or left, jack that side of the car up, grab the hub assembly. If there's any play in it, then you know you're on the right track. Check left to right, up, down, check 3 or 4 spots. If it has play in it, it's definitely bad. Just change it out. Now, some hub bearings are the whole assembly, and some hub bearings are a pressed-in bearing. If your vehicle has a pressed-in bearing, you'll need to pull the spindle off, and you'll either have to have a press or you go to the machine shop and have them press the bearing out and press the new bearing back in. No big deal. Just matter of just taking it out. If it's the hub assembly, you'll see the 3 bolts that hold it in. You just pound one out, put the new one in, and tighten back up with the three bolts. Usually pretty simple. The biggest problem is getting the axle shaft out of the center of the hub. If it doesn't want to move right away, there's a dimple on the axle shaft. After you take the nut off, you'll see that there's a dimple right on the very end of the axle shaft. And that is so that you can use a chisel, or a punch right there and a hammer and smack it. And that'll keep you from ruining the threads on the end of the axle shaft to try and get it broke loose. Somebody was thinking, I use an air hammer with my punch thing, and that breaks them loose, and it'll come right out. So that's how to check a hub assembly. That's how to determine whether it's the bearing, or a lot of times the tire stores are, well, you need tires. Oh, by the way, you've got a bad hub bearing too. Now, a loose hub bearing can cause tire wear. So always check your tires. Your tires should feel smooth all the way across the top. No cupping, no feather edge. You should be able to run your hand back and forth across the top of the tire, and it'd be nice and even and smooth and symmetrical. There shouldn't be any. If you have uneven tire wear, sometimes that can make a sound like a hub bearing, but it's actually only the tire. So these are the tips I have to share with you. I hope it helps you. If you have any questions, or if you think you have a noise, I'll gladly go for a test drive with you. Feel free to give us a call at 816-453 8282. And you can find us online at aboveandbeyondautorepair.com. Thank you very much. And again, this is Wes Harrison. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.